Alleged contradictions in the Pentateuch. Did Moses write the Pentateuch? The authorship of Moses. The standard view of many scholars today is that Moses did not write the whole Pentateuch or Torah. What does the Pentateuch say about the authorship? Moses the writer. Exodus 17:14 Then the Lord said to Moses, Write this in a book as a memorial and recite it to Joshua, that I will utterly wipe out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. The first 5 books of Scripture were originally written in one scroll, according to Hebrew custom, and are still so used in Jewish reading in their synagogues. Therefore it is mentioned in Exodus that it was written in one book. After Moses received the 10 Commandments, he was told to write it down. Exodus 24:4 And Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord. And after Moses received the second set of the 10 Commandments, he was told again to write it down. Exodus 34:27 Then the Lord said to Moses, Write down these words, for in accordance with these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. Moses is also credited with composing the historical portion of the Pentateuch as well. Numbers 33:2 Moses recorded their starting places according to their journeys by the command of the Lord, and these are their journeys according to their starting places. After Moses had finished his speech at the border to the Promised Land. Deuteronomy 31:24 It came about, when Moses finished writing the words of this law in a book until they were complete. Another example from Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28:58 If you are not careful to follow all the words of this law that are written in this book, to fear this honored and awesome name, the Lord your God. After reviewing these scriptures, the following statement can be made. The prophetic nature of the Pentateuch, especially, points to Moses as the author. The prophetic formula Now the Lord called to Moses and spoke to him. Over 150 times in Exodus to Numbers, mostly introduces extensive words of Yahweh with Moses as the sole listener. Consequently, it is highly unlikely to assume that the greatest prophet of the Old Testament did not write down these revelations that were specifically conveyed to him. This becomes most evident in the book of Leviticus, where almost all chapters begin with the phrase, Now the Lord called to Moses and spoke to him, and some chapters contain entire collections of such Yahweh's words. Following conclusion can be made. In the books of Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, Moses is depicted as the author of the Pentateuch. Therefore, it is highly improbable to suggest that the preeminent prophet of the Old Testament did not record these revelations that were directly communicated to him.